actually have something to drink. We're actually going to be moving around. We're actually going to really celebrate who we are as women. So I'm so glad that you came out today, because in my mind, it doesn't really matter if there's one person in the room. It doesn't matter if there's 10 people in the room. As long as love is in the room, and as long as hope is in the room, then we've got a lot in the room. And I have had some wonderful moments of growing and learning when I've just had maybe 3 or 4 people, some life-changing moments. So I feel like if you took the time to get up and come out today, then you deserve a hand of applause. So give yourself a hand of applause. Wonderful. So my name is Dr. Allana de Graca. You can just call me Allana. You don't have to think about formalities. I'm a regular person just like you. But I am definitely so committed to everything concerning women, because I think we give so much to other people. We give to our families. We give to our job. We give to those that we love. And then somehow we look back at ourselves and we're like, dang, I am so winded. I am tired. But we never tell people we're tired, because we put on that makeup, we put on that outfit, and we just keep going until we crash. And then we're like, goodness, why do I feel this way? But I'll give the best of myself to everyone else, and somehow I forget to give the best of myself back to me. So that's why I don't take it lightly that you came out today. And so that's why I'm going to be in your face a little bit. I'm going to ask you questions. I want you to leave and say, what was that? Was that a workshop? Was that more of a life-questioning moment? Like, what was I supposed to get out of that? And for me, we have all won. If you found 2 things that I've said, or 3 things that I've said, or something maybe someone else shared, and you said, and you do one of these, then you know you got something out of the workshop. That is my hope for today. And so I'm just going to give you a little more time to, are you guys done eating or munching on your items? Because I need you to make sure that you are free to move and free to just get up and get around. Can I ask someone to close that door for me, if you don't mind, now that we're starting? Thank you so much. All right, so who am I? So I was actually born here in Boston. I was born in Roxbury, and then I went to the Curley School. I had a very hardworking mom. She raised my brothers and I on her own. My father was there, but they weren't together. And so I just remember her always telling us to focus, to do our thing, to try to listen to all that she was trying to instill in us. And what's so funny is the library. I remember, what's so exciting for me is I remember the first time I ever went to the library. I felt like I really hit gold. Like, I was 5 years old, and they were like, I just remember the librarian saying to me, Allana, this is a place where you can come and you can take out as many books as you want, and you can read and read and read. And I was so little, and I said, really? I can take out as many books as I want. So my little tiny backpack, I packed that thing with like 20 books, Ramona the Pest and all these little books, and I felt like I was so rich. I remember feeling I have knowledge, and I was just a little girl. But I also remember then growing into a teenager, and at that time there was a lot of violence going on, and there was it's just hard, when you're trying to get through life and be a teen and make good choices. And there was a moment when I didn't want to be on earth. I thought, if life could be this difficult, then why am I here? And I went outside, and I just thought, okay, well, I'm 13, so this must be, I was so young. But then luckily I heard a voice, and the voice was like, no, Allana, you need to hold on. It's not all what you think it is. And luckily I was led to meeting a number of mentors and teachers and people that really spoke into my life. And I always said, if I ever become a teacher, if I ever become someone who's stronger than what I feel now, I would love to tell my story to as many women as possible. Women, not men. Not that I don't like men, because some of my male students say, Dr. B, why don't you do something for us? And I say, well, I love you guys too, but my heart is really with women, because I'm a woman, and I feel like I really understand what women go through. Not everything, but I've been through enough to be able to share. So welcome today. And I'm the president of Turning on the Lights Global Institute. This institute that I've created and co-founded with my husband, I create digital products to help people reach their personal and professional goals. So those products are CDs, webinars, seminars. Some of my courses were taught in London. Some of them were taught in, some of the lectures I have given have been done in Brazil. And I am a university instructor for a number of universities. Here at Northeastern, I teach a number of technology classes I'll begin teaching. At Bentley University, I'm teaching a number of communication courses. And at Walden University, online, I'm teaching a number of students, have done it for the past 13 years. So I definitely love to empower. And these are just some wonderful images of women that I've worked with in the past. When I was in Atlanta, I started a women's empowerment group there, and that's some of the ladies. They were like, oh my gosh, you guys are in Boston now. Like, I wish I was there. But we would meet and we would talk about really deep, profound issues. How do you move on if you've been abused? How do you move on if you want to go from one part of your career to the next? How do you move on if you're in a interesting relationship that's not really working and you're trying to understand who you are? So, and then these are just some images of students and places where I have taught and just had a wonderful time. But when I was thinking about our presentation, I need you to turn to your handout and flip it over, because we are going to think about this song. And I love this song because when I was thinking about I'm Coming Out, this song just kept popping in my head, and I said, this is really it. This song really captivates how I feel. So we're going to actually look at the lyrics first, and then we'll do our little movement. So give me one moment to set this up. Yes, you can hear her singing it. She's so beautiful. So let's see. I need a handout. I gave you guys a handout, and I need a handout myself. So grab it. He left. Hubby left. Hubby has left. So when I was thinking of this workshop, I said, wow, I'm going to have a good time. I want them to have a good time because this is really about us coming out. And the lyrics, I'm coming out. I want the world to know. I got to let it show. I'm coming out. I want the world to know. I got to let it show. There's a new me coming out, and I just had to live, and I want to give. I'm completely positive. I think this time around, I am going to do it like you never knew it. Ooh, I'll make it through. All right, so this is the part where I need you guys to get up for 1 second because I need to show you what we need to do. So why don't you stand up? Okay. So all you're going to do is mirror me. All we're going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, bop. Whatever it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, bop. 1, 2, 3, 4, bop. Okay, y'all are good. Y'all are good. Y'all been taking dancing classes, huh? All right, and then when it gets to the refrain, I'm coming out, you're just going to go 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, and give me a flash mob. And then we're going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, flash mob. So let's try it with the music. I know, you said, did I come here to dance? Yes, you did. You came to have a good time, and I'm going to give it to you. All right, so give me 1 second. All right. All right, so we need you to march. All right, like you're going somewhere, Come on. I got to see you smiling. Come on. Smile like you're in front of your mirror. Good. All right. She's starting. I need to see some smiles. There you go. All right. To the right. To the left. To the right. There you go. To the left. Good. She takes a long time to start. All right, now pull up your paper, and I want you to sing the words with me. I want the world to know. I can't hear you. There you are. I want the world to know Gotta let it show. Here we go. I can't hear you. Completely positive. What? Like you never knew it. Ooh, I'll make it through. Break out. All right. Let's see you march it out. I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Gotta let it show. And move to the right. Good. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yay. I am coming out. I thought about doing the Soul Train, but I said, you know what, in the future. Well, you know what? That's what I wanted to say, though. We need those moments where we step out. You know, we always act so conservative sometimes. But we know after we're washing the clothes and we're doing everything, we're like, oh, we put on that song and we love, like, oh, this is my jam. I got to put that back on while I'm washing my dishes. But we need to always remind ourselves to do that, to just have fun, to just laugh, to just release all that energy, because I don't know about you, but even looking at you after just doing that little tiny song, all of you just, when you sat down, all of you unified, made an approach, and you said, and it was wonderful to see you do that. So now I just want to get back to what we're talking about today. So today I have really 3 goals for you, and that's number 1, to remind you to celebrate who you are. Number 2, to remember the stories of people in your personal life and even in our history when we think about women that can help us be strong and propel us forward. And then lastly, give you tools to help you reach some of your personal goals. And when I was thinking about this, I said to myself, boy, if it had not been for Dr. Deschamps walking into my women's history class, she looked like she had a Superman cape when she walked in. That woman did not play. She was amazing. When she spoke, it made me listen. She told me about Sojourner Truth. She told me about Harriet Tubman. She told me about these women that dared to dream. If it had not been for moments of self-doubt, and moments of crying in a room by myself, wondering, who are my friends? And where am I going? And why did I have or experience the things that I experienced? If it had not been for the women, the teachers, the mentors, even the men that influenced my life in a positive way, I probably wouldn't be here. And I want you to think about your own life. The woman that touched your life, the teachers, your parents, your family members, and take a stand for them. But also take a stand for women who can't stand. There are many women who actually look up to you. Their dream is actually to be somewhat like how you are. Oh boy, I wish I could be a student. I wish I could live until this age. I wish I could have the strength you did to go through what you went through and overcome the way you did. So I would like you for a moment to just all stand up. And when I ask you to clap, you're not just going to be clapping for yourself, but you're going to clap for all those people that have touched your life. And then you're going to clap for yourself because you are still here. There's something you went through, experienced, overcame, and you're still here. So 1, 2, 3, give yourself a round of applause. Yes. Very good. All right. You can be seated. Thank you. Yes. So when we think about women's history and we think about all these individuals, there's so many people I could have on this PowerPoint. But just putting all this together, these are some people that came to mind. Obviously, Oprah Winfrey. And I was saying earlier, if it had not been. If Oprah Winfrey had not been the person she had to sleep outside of her family's home on the floor. She had that deep moment like, why is this happening to me? Amelia Earhart, she dared to go and fly these engines. Maya Angelou, before we know her to be the poet laureate that she was, she had that moment where She was abused and didn't speak for many years. She lost her voice. Ariana Huffington, a woman in her own right, strong-willed, business-oriented, started her own media publishing company. People probably thought, you can't be this media mogul, but today, very, very profound woman. But they all had to dare to dream. It wasn't that they weren't afraid or that there was something that they were afraid of. They were able to somehow take a step out. And Ariana Huffington says, make a decision. She says, fearlessness is like a muscle. Basically, if you keep using your muscles of stepping out and trying to do something new, you'll exercise it, and fear won't dominate every decision that you decide to make. And you really can make a decision even today, no matter what your normalcy looks like. Because see, normalcy, let me explain for a second. Normalcy is that, let's say you've had a condition or you've experienced something and it's just happened so long that it feels normal. But it actually doesn't have to stay that way. You can literally decide first in your mind to change that particular area in your mind first before you see the subsequent steps that will allow you to see the full change. So a part of that is actually stepping out of whatever the fears are that have kept you in that level of normalcy. Now, if we look at this picture, we see two people looking out the window. One person is a young woman, one other woman is much more mature, but they're both looking out the window. When we look out the window this way, many times we're thinking, if that didn't happen to me 10 years ago, I sure wouldn't be in this predicament. Or, gosh, I missed out on that dream I had 5 years ago. I guess it can't happen for me again now. Or like me, when I turned 30, I always tell the story. When I turned 30, I stood in the mirror and I said, where did all these love handles come from? I don't remember having these. And then, and you keep saying, well, tomorrow I won't eat that extra donut. Tomorrow I'll save more money. Tomorrow I'll think about what I can do to transition in my career. But tomorrow often can become 2 and 3 months from now. And we don't always have to stick in that way where we're looking out the window. So many times people do know that there are decisions that they need to make, but there are some challenges. They might feel like there's too many choices. They might not know how to say no. Or they might say, well, gosh, what are the first steps I need to take? And who can actually help me to get there? And then they might say to themselves, how will I know that it will work? Hi, Grace. I'm not putting you on. It's good to see you. How will I know that it will work? So I'm going to show you an example of what we look like when we're trying to reach our goals. But I need a volunteer. Can I have a volunteer? Don't worry, you don't have to say anything. I just need you to stand there. Okay, Josie, come on up. Give her a round of applause. She's volunteering. All right, so Josie, give me a second while I'll tell her what she's doing. All right, so all you need to do is look at the clock, and you'll see the clock, the hand going to 1 minute, and you're the goal, and I'm basically trying to get myself together to reach you in 1 minute, but I can't because I have all this stuff. Okay. And all I want you to say is, hurry up, time's ticking, hurry up. Okay. Okay, and then when you see it go to 1, just let me know. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to do this little simulation here. Give me 1 second. So we're going to say that, because we all like shopping and we like bags, we're going to say that before I get to my goal, I've got a lot of things I need to pack, because I can't go with an empty bag. And at the same time, I'm going to say that the clothes represent certain issues. Josie, you ready? All right. Before I go, I got to pack my worry and doubt. I got to put that in here. 1 second. Oh, yeah, I gotta get my, goodness, that guy got on my nerves last week.
Hurry up, hurry. Hurry.
Gosh, I'm trying to figure my bag.
Hurry up. Hurry.
Get my fear. Oh, my.
Hurry.
Trying to get to my goals.
Hurry up. Hurry up.
Oh, my God. Wait a minute.
Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry.
Oh, gosh, the thing had happened 5 years ago.
Hurry up. Would you just hurry up? Hurry up.
Oh my goodness. How am I going to get to my dreams now? I don't even have any space to put anything in.
Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry. Hurry. Hurry up.
Oh, forget it. It's just, I'm out of breath. I don't even have time to take anything on you. Thank you. All right. Boy. So sometimes that picture of getting things done, we can't even get to our new goal because we have all our stuff packed. And not only that, it's sticking out. And we think that nobody sees it. But you know what? We know it's there. And we aren't able to be the best that we can be being so weighed down. So the best thing I could do is share my own story of how I began to kind of get out of this, even for myself. Because as I shared with you guys when I came the last 2 times, I wrote a book called Tomorrow Can't Wait. And what really sparked me to write that book is I was, like I normally do, after I teach and grade and spend all this time working, I was always like, oh, I give so much to everybody. Oh, I give so much. I teach. I do all these things. I'm so tired. Oh, but I always wanted to be a writer, and I always wanted to sing, and I always wanted to make my poetry, and I always want to do that. But I guess time is up now. I'm 32. Oh, look at what happened to me. If I had just stayed up here, I would have never been. And then all of a sudden, I heard a voice, and it said, Allana, if you only had 120 days, would you really be thinking the way you do if you literally only had a short amount of time to live? Would you really live it with such self-doubt? Would you still keep having paralysis of analysis? And you know you can write. Would you still keep looking at setbacks and obstacles and keep asking yourself, what if? And I remember I sat down and I said, you gotta live this new life. Not like the life you've had before. And it was just for me. I wasn't performing for anybody. I was in my living room. And I was like, you gotta live this new life. Not like the life you've had before. So what would you do with 120 days? What would you do with 120 days? 'Cause you gotta live this whole life. You've been trying to see things through, to see things through. What would you do with 120 days? You gotta live this new life. And then I wrote that, but then I also sang, this is my time, this is my time. Ain't nothing gonna hold me from my experience. Can nothing hold me from my time. And I remember when I said that, and I said my time, there was something in my shoulder. I sang that from my gut, and I was crying. There was no music in the background, and I knew something in me had completely changed. It was like every single lesson every teacher had taught me, every single time I looked at my mother go to work and come home late hours, it was like it all made sense. And I was blaming all these people for where I was at and not taking responsibility for how I decided to live the rest of my life. Whew, I got to take a break because that was a lot for me to think about. And then I think about, and I remember thinking, you know what, I'm never going to regret time again. I'm never going to let time or the lack of it that I think it's there or thinking I don't have enough time, because guess what? We have a lot of time. You know how much time Americans spend watching television in a given week? We spend about, I want to say something crazy, like maybe 30 or 40 hours a week watching television. You know how much time people spend on the internet a day, especially millennials and Generation Xers and Zers. Definitely somewhere between 3 and 4 hours a day. And you tell me we don't have enough time to get ourselves together? I don't believe it. We just have to reevaluate how we use our time and who we invest our time with. You know, time is just as valuable as money. You could sit down in a circle with a group of people and leave the meeting and wonder, what was that? That was just 2 hours of my life I will never get again. So I decided after this whole 120 days, I said, you know what? I'm never going to stop evaluating why I do certain things. You want to meet with me? Why are we meeting? Is it a shared goal? Are we going in the same direction? Or is this person a dream snatcher? Or is this person bringing me where I need to go? So there are steps that we can take to move forward. We just have to think about how we use our time. Now, some things I want to tell you, you can read books. This is a great place to find many free books. You would think this place would be packed out with lines outside. Because if you want to start a business, there are plenty of books right here at the Common Square Library you could read. If you want to learn how to do crafts, you can easily come to the workshops they have here. If you need support, there are a number of resources here for women. And in particular, I'm doing a lot here in Boston to help women realize that, yes, you can reach your goals. And then there are some things, you probably have to really make time. Today, for all of you who came today and dared to come out, you actually get my 5-week book today. So I wanted to give that to you, but you also get an invitation. It's time limited, but an invitation to have a $50 free certificate to attend one of my workshops that I'm having in August. And I hope you all attend, but there's limited seating. So if you're really interested, let me know. But you do have steps that you can do. So here are 3 tips I want to just talk about. We got to move on. Because that face, this one right here that nobody sees and you do it in the bathroom after you hung up talking to someone you really talked too long to? Okay. Number 1, you got to be grateful for those who have been in your life. This is really true because I read this story about this man who started this movement where for the whole year he decided he was going to be grateful for something and he was going to reach out to people who meant something in his life. And he started either sending them a card or sending them a message. And I said, let me try to do that. Let me try to give something. I couldn't do it for 360 days, but I said, let me try at least once a month to try to give something. Maybe someone isn't expecting it. Maybe I give them a flower. Maybe I just give them a hug. Or maybe it doesn't always have to be something expensive, but just reach back and tell that person how much they meant to you. Or reach back and tell that person that you care about them, because we never know what people around us are going through. And the hardest thing today is that we're so tied with all our digital media that we're losing real relationships with people. So people really do need some real hugs. I've met amazing people in this manner. All right, number 2, we have to be willing to let unfruitful relationships go. So let me explain what unfruitful means. Well, I have 2 things to say really about this. So we can't keep taking an apple and hoping it tastes like an orange. It will never taste like an orange. We can't make it an orange no matter what we do to try to craft it. And that can be in a personal relationship, professional. We have to learn how to look at relationships and figure out which way we need to go with the relationship. This is so, I can't stress in my research of 5 years of looking why people fail or succeed. People really may not understand, but your friends are a stark reflection of where you're probably going to end up if you stay around them long enough. So you really want to think about unfruitful relationships. And it doesn't mean you need to dash all your friendships. It just means, hey, you can have orange juice with me on the porch. You don't need to have it in my living room. So we have to think about our relationships. Number 3, determine to make a drastic change in one area of your life. So for me, I can only explain that many years ago, I went to the doctors and they said, you have endometriosis, a very painful disease that really, if you're not able to calm it down early enough, it just causes havoc. And I had 1 surgery and I said, oh, it's done. So it's finished. I don't need to do anything. I'm going to eat what I normally do, and I'm going to be how I know. And I never thought about it. Second surgery came. I said, oh, wait a minute. This inflammation is really something I need to pay attention to. And then I said, okay, I need to make a drastic change. So I had to wake up in the morning, go to the gym, work out, 4:30 in the morning, go to school, but make that commitment. And there are other personal commitments I had to make in order to change the areas in my personal life. And lastly, this one is really, remember you really are a beautiful rose. Women love roses. And we love it because it just is beautiful. It doesn't have to beg to be beautiful. It just is. But unfortunately, even in all of my teaching and seminars, women will always come up to me and say, no matter how beautiful they are, oh, yeah, I say, oh, you're so beautiful. I know, but you know, my nose is like this. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, I know, but if I were a little skinnier, or if I were a little whatever, we just have a problem accepting who we are. And my challenge to you is, one day, just wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I am just like that beautiful rose. And if you don't see that rose in me, it's really okay, because I'm still a rose. And so that's one of the best things that has made a change in my life, because I didn't always feel beautiful. Actually, I hated the way I looked. I felt like, oh, I wish I didn't have this chocolate skin. Oh, I wish I appeared this way and not that way. I was always wanting to be something other than I was, until one day I just said, you know what? If God made me to be like this, he had to do it for a reason. I mean, there's no one, all your fingerprints are unique. So whoever you are, try to understand that you are just as beautiful as a rose. And then change equals a process. On the front of my Women Build Confidence book, it's a butterfly. And I chose the butterfly because people see butterflies, but they hardly see the process that the butterfly goes through. First the egg stage, then it turns into a caterpillar, and then it goes on. And it's funny because when I'm done doing this workshop, then women are like, I want to change tomorrow. I need to lose 70 pounds, and I want to lose it 30 days from now. And I'm like, well, it's going to take a process. And that's where most people fall off. Most people know they need to change. Most people know they need to save money. Most people know they want a better relationship, or they want a new job, or whatever it is. But the process. So when I did my research, it was amazing. I studied all these students. And what was amazing is that it wasn't really if you say or hope you'll be successful, that's going to make you successful. It was your level of commitment to that success. So however high you want to go in something is the level of commitment you have to give to it. So if I say I want to lose this much weight, I have to be committed. I need to go to the gym. I need a personal trainer, because you can't change everything on your own. One time a woman reached out to me and said, oh, Dr. Graca, I really need all of your help. I need your books, workshops, everything. And I said, okay, well, you can come to one of the workshops. And I was explaining to her some of the steps she would have to take. And she said, well, you're not Oprah. And I said, well, I'm not Oprah, I'm myself, and you still need help. And I can offer you that. And the best thing I can do is be myself and offer you the tools that you can get. And I would just say, there's some things we do need to do to change, but we can only be a fish in a fishbowl. Sometimes we need someone to look at the fishbowl and say, oh, you near that rock too long. Let me just squirt you over to the left and get you to move and think differently. And that's really what I strive to do with everything, with the courses, with the books, and the seminars.